Justin, and welcome to Lifespring. Thanks so much for being here with us today. If you're new here, we want you to feel right at home. We'll all be here for an hour, and we're going to experience a great worship and a powerful message. And if you have kids with you today, we want you to know that we have fantastic kids programming for kids of all ages, and it's not too late to sign them in. Just head back to our Welcome Center under the TV, and you can do so there. Here, we believe that family matters, and we're willing to reach yours whatever it takes. Here are a few ways we're going to do that headed into the new year, and we'll get started with some worship very soon.
This January, we are being challenged to find our spiritual gifts and passions in order to serve at a higher level. You can do this by attending the Pastor's Breakfast this Sunday, 10 a.m. here at the church. On Saturday, February 2nd, from 10 to 2, we will gather here at the church for our annual summit. This is going to be a great day of vision casting and planning for Lifespring. Come be a part of how we will serve our church and reach our community for Christ. Every third and fifth Friday of each month, we participate in the local Meals on Wheels. See Pastor Nate on how you can plug in and serve our community.
So there you have it, and be sure to check out lifespringsc.org and our Facebook page for more events as well. To help us connect with you, please fill out one of these white Connect cards and place it in the VIP box behind you. You'll get a free gift bag, a call from Pastor Nate, and some of our team leaders will reach out to you as well. At this time, please stand as we begin our worship.
All right, the good news of the gospel is that we are never too far from God's reach because He loves us so much. I want y'all to stand and sing it out with us. But I want you to be thinking about this while you're walking around shaking hands. In the body of Christ, there are many parts moving, and no part is too small. Think about that. Find somebody you don't know and shake their hand.
And we did the video?
Oh, what?
What did you say?
They tell him to kill number one.
Hey, I'm gonna take video right.
When we give, not much happens. That's because we tend to think of it as a single transaction. We give, they get. The end. But what if there is more to the story? What if God is doing more than we know with our gift? Good news. He is. When we give, we are doing more than we know, because God does more than we could imagine in 3 key ways. God works through us. We become a pipeline through which His blessings flow. Instead of holding tightly to what He has given us, we must let it overflow into the needy world around us, allowing God's glory to shine. God works with us. We become partners in His mission to renew and restore all things to Himself. Through our prayers, presence, gifts, service, and witness, we join in the gracious work He has already begun. We become co-creators, shaping His world for good. God works in us. We become participants in His work of grace within our own hearts. Our giving helps transform us, even as we bless others. And as we align our treasure with what He treasures, we reveal the work He is doing in our hearts to make us more like Jesus. What happens when we give? More than we could ever imagine. Give generously and discover what God can do because of you.
We're going to go ahead and take up our offering at this time. So if you guys would grab the baskets at the end of your rows. You can drop them in the baskets, or you can visit us online at lifespring01062019A and give that way. You can set up an app on your phone, or there's a box in the back on the wall if you want to give that way. So I want to introduce this next song with a little plot and a verse. If you read the Bible, it's full of historical kingdoms that have fallen over and over again. But at the same time, it's full of one kingdom that hasn't. And this morning, I'm feeling very grateful because we get to be part of that kingdom. and that's the Lord's kingdom. Psalm 154:13 says, "Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures throughout all generations. The Lord is faithful in all his words and kind in all his works." So you guys will stand and worship with this next song. It's called Only King Forever.
Only first Sunday of the year and you're coming through crazy. It is them, right? That's awesome. That's so cool. Man, what an awesome song to bring us into the message and bring us into the Word. If you're a TV watcher like me, I really don't live television. I'm watching sports. But the bad thing about that is you have to watch the commercials, right? So if you have DVR or whatever, you just fly through them. Well, I was watching some NFL football yesterday, some playoffs, and neither of my teams won. That's awesome. But as I'm watching this commercial, and that last song made me think of it. Maybe you've seen this commercial, maybe you haven't. But it's a guy, and he's in a brake shop, like an auto mechanic shop, and he says, hey man, having some brake problems, whatever, how are you guys with brakes? And the mechanic says, oh, we're okay. And I was like, that's funny. And he goes, we have a saying, I'm going to butcher it, but he says, we have a motto here, if your brakes don't stop you, something eventually will. And that was kind of the way this auto mechanic shop, not Harris Automotive, amen. But that's just how this other shop took care of it. And as I'm up there singing and thinking, I think it's a guy. It's either a beer commercial or Geico because it's really funny. I can't remember which commercial it is. But y'all didn't laugh at that at all. Okay, all right. But as I was thinking about that commercial, I thought, isn't it so good to serve a God who is fierce? Can you imagine if we're sitting there, your love's okay?
Your love's okay.
Like, God is insanely awesome. Like, there's no, like, okay when it comes to God. There's no just, he's all right, you know. We may feel like that sometimes, but God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And it's always fierce, and it's always awesome. Just what a great, great way to usher us in. As his presence is here, it's moving. I'm so thankful for that. We just want to make sure you're aware of a couple things. If you weren't able to catch our welcome video this morning, first of all, if you have never filled out one of these Connect cards, please do that. It is more important than ever this month to fill out one of these Connect cards. As you also heard in the video, we are focusing in January with our brand new series called We Are the Church. You see it up there. And we are focusing on getting you serving and leading and being the church that God has called us to be. And by doing that, we want you in the right places, doing the right things. And so a great way to get that started, a great way to start to learn your gifts and your passions and how to serve and reach this community for Christ is to fill out one of these cards, and that will get us to be able to connect with you, literally a Connect card. So be sure you do that, and you can throw it in that VIP box in the very back. It's an awesome way to start serving and being who God called us to be. Mike, tell us, I'm going to share the Wi-Fi password with you right now, brother. There you go, you got it. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Get out your Bible app, get out your phones, get ready. We want to turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 12. We're going to be looking at that verse as we go down throughout all those verses. We're going to break them down kind of chunk by chunk and look at it piece by piece. And it's so awesome to come into the new year. Here we are, January 6th, first Sunday of the year, and focusing on how to be the church. How to be who God's called us to be. And we're going to look at different aspects of that. And today's title, what we're going to talk about today is Serve, Don't Sit. Man, how many of us like to sit around like on a lazy day or a Saturday, whatever? Every once in a while, hey, it's good. You guys would think I'm so weird. On my Thursdays, on my day off, Thursdays and Saturdays, and I have like a routine of like lazy and productive. Like it's so awesome, most Thursdays, most Saturdays, where that time where you ever like, you know, if it's laundry, whatever you're doing, you're crazy busy, and that time where you just sit, it's like, don't you, if you're like me and your brain works, I have a hard time just sitting if I haven't at least gotten something done. I have my to-do list on me all the time. It's a bad thing about phones and computers and stuff, but I'm always like, I feel so much more relaxed when I accomplish something. And so today we're going to talk about serve, don't sit. If we are the church, if we are who God has called us to be, then there's a time to sit, there's a time to rest, there's a time to relax. But when it comes to furthering the kingdom of God, when it comes to that kingdom that we also sung about today, that is alive and well, that is doing great things, we've got to be out giving and not just receiving. We've got to be out of our seats doing what God has called us to do. And so that's the series we're going to talk about the next 3 weeks on We Are the Church. And so as you look at 1 Corinthians, here's the concept of this whole series. This is what it's kind of focused on. The church is a place, everybody say, to serve, to connect, and to live on mission for God's kingdom, right? So we want to serve, we want to be connected, we want to connect, and we want to serve in the sense of being on mission for God's kingdom. We have an opportunity. Now, do not raise your hands on this one, okay? But if you are all about some you, and if you think you are the, let me rephrase that, if you know you are the greatest thing since sliced bread, okay, no, we're not going to raise your hands. This might not pump you up or make you excited, but if you are realizing that, give it up, bro. If you are Josh, okay, then this won't pump you up. But everybody else, here's the thing. When we talk about being the church, I want us to take this with us all month long, all year long, all day long. We have the opportunity to be something way bigger than ourselves. We have a chance to do something bigger than is in just us. Even in my most cockiest moment, even my most pumped up moment, God always humbles me in a way, some way, shape, or form to say, hey, you know what? If it was just about you, this world would be in a lot of trouble. If it was just up to you to grow a church, if it was just up to you to get as many people saved as possible, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Because the thing about it is, if we just rely on our own strength, our own wisdom, our own gifts, just on us alone, and don't connect and be a part of something like God's church, which we're going to talk about this month, then we're never going to be able to fully realize what it means to be the body of Christ, because the body has many members. The body has many moving parts. The body has many different aspects with one common denominator that we're going to talk about a lot, and we'll get into that. How many of you have ever been to Dead Sea Church of God? How many of you ever been to Dead Sea, First Baptist, Second Baptist, Third Baptist? None of us, right? I've never seen, I was trying to find one. I've seen some funny church names. I love, his name is John Christ. I love his thing about, if you want to find a church with a nice name, you know, there's a lot of those nowadays, you know, with different cool names and different things. It's really cool. I like that. I'm all about that. But in all the funny, cool, awesome church names I've ever found, I've never seen a Dead Sea Church. Have you? Anybody? There's a reason for that, and this is what's going to be what we focus on today. The reason why, have you ever thought about this? What makes the Dead Sea dead? It's like a sea out. It's really known in Bible times. What makes it dead is this. It is all the time receiving, but never giving out anything. Think about that. It's got flow coming in. It's got water coming in. The salt and all that has gotten so thick because nothing is being produced out of it. It's all just coming into it. So it stays filled up through the rain, through whatever, but it doesn't get out. And so it is literally called the Dead Sea. Today is not going to be something that you're like, oh my gosh, I've never heard that in my life. Okay? We're not going to go some route of being a